are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano,
host of Locked On Rays, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thanks for making the Locked On Rays podcast your first listen every day. And remember, the Locked On Rays podcast is free and available on all platforms, including YouTube at Locked On Rays. Also, be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Locked On Rays, and you can email us, lockedonrays@gmail.com. This episode is brought to you by Rock Auto. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need. Visit rockauto.com and tell them Locked On sent you. Ulises, I think fair to say this is going to be a special episode as we are joined by very dedicated Locked On Rays listener, Jesus Colon, who, you know what? Jesus needs a standing ovation.
Let's do it.
I like it.
Jesus, you were right. The Rays would win at least 97 games. Can you give me some lottery numbers? Some Powerball tips, something. Help me out here because you were right on the money, sir.
Well, Kevin, I wish I could, but honestly, I just had faith in the team, because it's been such a consistent success with the Rays organization that honestly, why not believe in our team? Believe in our coaching staff. Believe in our front office, and just trust the process. It's a long season, so anything can happen.
Now, when you say just trust, there must be something behind that trust. So is it just years of success like 2019 and 2020, or was it different facets of the organization? Is it the front office? Is it just the coaches? Is it the players? What drives you behind that trust in early March when we had that discussion, or April, and you said they're going to win at least 97? What was behind that trust?
Well, to me, behind the trust, the most important thing was the continuity in the team, and more like the proven success already. The Rays, they're an unorthodox team when it comes to, the major leagues. Like, not a lot of people do it like the Rays do. And it's been proven to be successful. I was listening to some of the audio clips from the players now since we got the AL banner. And, they were very confident in their chemistry together. I remember, I think it was Big Z, Mike Zunino. He was talking about how it's not about the money. Because how the reporters be trying to slip in those little questions to try to divide the clubhouse. Oh, what about the salaries, low payroll, this and that. And he's like, it's not about the money. It's about us playing as a team. So I think that, it's that level of continuity and that continued success and understanding that the Rays way, it works. Like, it's time to stop speculating because the Rays way, it works. It worked last year and it worked this year for sure. I look at the Rays as like the Spurs of the MLB. For those who are NBA fans, they understand. The Spurs, for some reason, they might have trash players. The Rays don't, of course, but the Spurs, they might have trash players and they'll still make it to the playoffs. I don't know how they do it, but it's like a level of consistency in the franchise.
I got to know this. My basketball knowledge is usually more international than NBA, but who is the Manu Ginobili of the Rays then? I mean, do you have a comp for that?
Yes. I would say for Manu Ginobili, Manu Ginobili was always the consistent one. He came off the bench, he accepted his role, right? There was times where he would start, but typically, especially during the end of his career, he was coming off the bench as like the sixth man role, right? Coming straight off the bench in the first time out, whatever it may be. And I think that Manu Ginobili role, like a guy who's willing to do whatever for the team, I think that's Joey Wendle. I think Joey Wendle is that type of guy. He's a serviceable player. You can't say anything negative about the guy, honestly. Right. And he does so many things for us that honestly, he is probably one of those very valuable pieces that I'd rather keep over some other big names in terms of contract negotiations.
It's a great comp.
Yeah.
That's a great comp on the spot.
Joey Wendle balding? That's what I would ask as well.
No, he's got a great head of hair right there. Okay. I mean, that's smooth.
He's got a good mop. I guess that would be my comp for Manu Ginobili, is whoever is on the team that is presently balding. Maybe it's Kevin Cash or somebody like that.
I think it's Bam Bam. I saw.
Oh, Bam, that's a good one.
That's a really good one.
A little bit of a hesitation on his head the other day, so I don't know. We'll see.
You know what? I'm looking at a picture of Manu right now, and maybe similar facial structure as
that's
Brandon
good.
Lau. Brandon's
Yeah.
a little bit more pale than Manu Ginobili, but I get the point there. Jesus, you predicted the 97 wins. That has come to fruition. How far can this team go? Are they going to get to 100 regular season wins? Are they going to advance through the American League and make it to the World Series? Are they going to win the World Series? Where do you stand on all of this as we stand on a Tuesday evening?
Well, to me, like, I've always been a man of faith, right? And so that applies to my teams as well, right? I'm a big Rays fan. That's why I'm here, right? So along with you guys. And to start off with the regular season, I honestly believe that on the track that we're on, we have 6 games left, right? Correct? 6 games left. With those 6 games left, I think we could win 4. We could win 5. Who knows? We might even go all the way and win 6. So, that's another prop bet for you guys. I'm a man of faith, so I'm gonna have to go with 5-1 for the last 6 games. I'm gonna have to go with it. That's a prop bet.
Okay.
Ulysses, what do you think about that?
5-1 might be a little bit too much. I can believe a 4-2. 4-2, I can get behind that. Maybe a 2 series wins, but I mean, okay, if it's 5-1, let me turn it back to you, Jesus. Who gets the sweep? Do they sweep Houston or do they sweep the Yankees and take them out possibly from the playoffs?
I think. Are we gonna be at Yankee Stadium for that last
Yes.
Yankees? Okay.
Correct.
I have a feeling that the Rays respect in the postseason. I have a feeling they respect the Yankees more than they do the Astros. So I believe that they're gonna go all out to try to sweep the Yanks. But honestly, who knows? They might lose 2 out of 3 because the Yankees are hungry, and it's either they make it or they don't. I have a friend that he's a Yankees fan. And, I respect him because he's my friend, but I'm not a big Yankees fan. I don't really relate with them. I just can't do it because, it's all about the Rays for me. Right.
Right.
But honestly, I feel bad for him. He's like, I'm not even watching the games. I'm just letting my family tell me if they won or they lost. So honestly, I think the morale for the Yankees they might not even make it. Like, honestly, who knows?
Yeah.
6 games, anything can happen. So I would say, I think the Rays are going to come out serious. I like their attitude. Remember when we clinched a couple of days ago?
Yeah.
They weren't really celebrating like that. They went, they gave their high fives. You know what I'm saying? They went into the clubhouse. Yeah, they drank a beer or 2. They were happy. But we've been here before. When was the last time the Yankees made it to the ALCS? When was the last time the Yankees made it to the World Series? Right? It's been a couple of years.
Yeah.
So I believe that the Rays are more focused on the greater task. You see, when I think the Rays are looking at the Yankees, and honestly, yes, they respect them, but I think that the Yankees, in the Rays' eyes, to our clubhouse, I think they're more of a pushover team. I think there's more respect for the Astros because there's a higher chance that we'll face them in the ALCS.
Well, they did face them earlier in the season, and Houston not had their way with them, but they gave us a clunker against Fleming. So it's a tough team. It's a tough lineup. Houston is, and of course, Minute Maid Park is kind of a sandlot, so or sandbox rather. So, a lot of runs can happen quickly in Houston.
Certainly. And following up on that, Jesus, and looking at, again, still a lot can happen in the next week or so, but we know that the Rays are guaranteed to be in the ALDS. That is happening. Who their opponent is going to be is a much different question. As of right now, the way I see it is there's, 5 possibilities? There is the Yankees. There is Boston. There is Toronto. There is Seattle. And there is Oakland. Do you, Jesus, is there a team that you would want the Rays to face most in the ALDS? Ulises has put his cards out on the table that he wants all of Toronto. He wants all of Canada. He wants all of the Blue Jays. He wants to fight Ryan Baracki right now and that hothead, whatever the pitching coach's name is, Pete Walker, whatever.
Yeah. No, I want to hear your take. I think maybe Jesus has a little bit of a different opinion there.
Well, honestly, if we really want to look at it and be like, who would be better to face? Of course, maybe the Mariners or the A's because they're not as great as these other top teams. But I'm gonna have to go with Ulises. I'm gonna have to go with the Blue Jays. The reason why is because, listen, I don't know if you guys are gonna remember this, but on Spotify Green Room, right, earlier this year, I remember I told you guys that the Blue Jays weren't gonna be that good. I said it. I don't know if you guys remember, but I remember I said it. I said they're not gonna be that good. They don't have the experience. They're not ready yet.
Okay.
I mean, look at the Padres. They have a bunch of, that's another story. But anyways, I don't think that the Blue Jays are ready, So I think that the Blue Jays, yes, they're dangerous, but I think the Rays have figured them out in a way where I think that I don't think we'll choke that series, honestly.
Yeah. That's how I see it as well. I don't think, yes, they're a powerful lineup and the pitching can be as good as any, but I feel like the Rays just have a big brother feel to the Blue Jays. Like, that's cute. That's great. You guys know how to win, but not as much as us. But we're better. We're just built differently, and we know all of your flaws, and we can still beat your Cy Young guy by having a guy who's making his MLB debut. It's just a different team.
And we have the data card.
There's a data card gate. Whoa, that's a good one.
We have the trade secrets.
Yes, we do.
That means the Rays can go in and sweep the Blue Jays if it comes down to that in the ALDS, not to mention the home field advantage. But I'm sure somebody had an iPad or an iPhone in the dugout, was able to snap a little picture of that and see how much that changed the complexion of things. Hey, we went ahead and brought it up. So I do kind of want to, we like to, on this podcast, we like to hear ourselves talk, obviously, but we like
I love to hear you guys talk.
Thank you. We appreciate that. I am cutting that clip out and isolating that and sending that to our bosses because they might disagree sometimes. But we like to put something on the table and get perspective from listeners, fans, whoever it may be. So, Jesus, this was something that made national headlines, international headlines, I guess you could say, as well. It was, the one time that ESPN and Fox Sports and MLB.com and all these outlets are talking about the Rays, it's because of the freaking picking up a card at home plate and not about what the Rays have been able to do a miraculous season. But nevertheless, the whole KK data card gate thing, what's your 2 cents on the whole matter? Cheating, gamesmanship, a little in between? Where do you stand?
I don't think it's a big deal. It's definitely not cheating. I mean, if you can have the card out in the game, right, and you can physically drop it, then why would it be allowed, right? Like, if you could literally drop it and anybody can pick it up, why would the MLB allow it if it was cheating? So to me, it's not really a big deal. I think the Blue Jays, they're just salty that they might not even make it, honestly. Like, I'm just thinking like that. And KK, he's the type of guy who likes to be a little bit like, like tedious. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And if it was Joey Wendle probably would give it to the umpire. That's all I'm gonna say. Because Joey Wendle's, he seems like a really nice guy. But KK's a little, he's a little stubborn. He likes to cause a little bit of a ruckus. So I don't know.
That's a good point. Let's be honest. KK, over the years, he could use some help in the batting department.
Well,
in the hitting department. Well, with that average and that OPS.
Well, hey, don't say it this year. After the All-Star break, he's been doing pretty fine. But
because he's stealing data cards every series. That must be it. He's finding his spots, picking his spots.
We found the loophole.
I will give KK some huge credit on Saturday, where he riled up the fans in the outfield. He was raising. We make fun of KK and some of his hijinks, and he's kind of jock weird. He's kind of odd in some ways, but the fact that we knew that the Rays were on pace to win, they just had a couple more outs to make, and he did the whole, stand up. Even though Fairbanks almost blew it.
But, yeah, I know. That's another conversation. But, yeah, KK, big ups for being the face of the franchise, being the longest tenured Ray, and then getting the damn outfield. Everybody was hyped up when they saw KK do that. And he knew that he has that power. Yeah. And good for him for utilizing it that way.
And then we almost had to stand for the next 25 minutes because Pete Fairbanks almost made a whole mess.
Fairbanks.
Well, there was a situation there was like, should we sit down? Because this might not be totally, completely in the bag here. There could be an issue. On that note, we will continue our conversation with Jesus. Much more to get into and dive into. But first, we want to tell you about an incredible app everyone who buys gas needs to know about. It's called Get Upside. Listeners can make up to 25 cents for every gallon of gas every time they fill up. Just download the free Get Upside app in the App Store or Google Play right now. Use promo code BASEBALL and get a bonus 25 cents per gallon on your first fill up. That's up to 50 cents cash back. Don't pay full price at the pump anymore. Get cash back using Get Upside. Again, just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code BASEBALL to get up to 50 cents per gallon cash back on your first tank. Ulises, one thing that among some other topics we want to get to with Jesus, who again, I think this might have to be a thing, is every year Jesus predicts the win total. And if he overshoots it, then we might have to have him on the show.
That's right.
That might be a thing.
You know what? I think what Jesus did is such a cool thing. I think Quinlan Deegan has an outstanding prop bet. I think maybe Zach Dabb and somebody else. Look, we have this platform. You guys want to interact with us? Interact. You put yourself out there. Let's hear your take, and then you get yourself on the show. And that's exactly what Jesus did. So that takes some guts. So I want to thank you, Jesus, for doing that.
That's why I'm always dropping prop bets, because I need to get on the show somehow. I love to talk. I'm Puerto Rican. You know how it is. So I love to talk, but when it comes to baseball and it comes to Rays, I love to talk a little bit more. And I know you guys love to talk. So hey, how about three of us that love to talk? I think it'd be great, right? We all love the Rays. So.
Exactly.
There we go. My one of my good friends' wife is Puerto Rican, and I just sit back and enjoy the show.
There it is.
I'm about to just turn the recorder on and just let it ride and then post that as an episode someday.
Of course.
But continuing, Jesus, there's been so many great things from this season, and wanted to get your take on a couple of them. First off, who's been your most favorite player from this year, from 2021 so far?
I think for me, my favorite player, and we talked a little bit about him earlier, but it has to be Joey Wendle.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's kind of an unorthodox thing to say. Everybody's gonna say probably Brandon Lau because he got 34, 35 dingers, but in my opinion, Joey Wendle has been it's such a pleasure to watch him play. For those who appreciate the game and aren't just there for the home runs and the strikeouts, I believe that Joey Wendle has been one of those very, very fun and interesting players to watch because he's consistent. He plays all over the field. His defense it can be flashy. It's always consistent. And I like to see him run, man. Like every time he hits the ball, even if it's a blooper, that man's going full force. Like if his hot pockets are ready, you know what I'm saying? He's running. He's ready to go get them. And I love it. I love the hustle. Nowadays you see these players, they got a lot of ego. And they'll hit the ball and they don't know if it's a single or not, and they'll just jog. You know what I'm saying? They're just casual. They got their money. You know what I mean? But Joey Wendle, he's out there and he's ready to play every single day. And he's so serviceable. He's such a clutch player. Like imagine, I remember I asked you guys this. I don't know if you guys remember, but I said, if the Rays with their current pitching staff, right, if they had 9 Joey Wendles on the field, right, in terms of like second base, all that stuff,
right,
9 Joey Wendles. If you had that level of production from 1 to 9, could the Rays go all the way? And honestly, it's so consistent that they might be able to just with singles and hustles. Honestly,
I'll tell you this: they would have 9 All-Stars. They would have 9 All-Stars in that lineup. I could not agree more with what you're saying, Jesus. I mean, it is a joy to watch somebody in a professional sports setting just giving it 180%, 100% of the time.
Never hot dogs it. Never hot dogs it. Not once.
It's remarkable that you will never be able to find a clip of Joey Wendle just jogging, just walking off. You know when he walks off? When he hit a pop-up and it's been caught. Right. It's been caught and he's walking back to the dugout. And even then, I have legitimately seen him jog faster
Yes.
to the dugout because like he's disappointed in himself. It's a remarkable thing to watch this guy just go all out every time. It's lovely to see.
Yeah. And I don't have any problem with jewelry. Heck, I've got a couple chains on myself, but I think the only jewelry that Joey Wendle has is his wedding ring.
Oh,
He won't even wear batting gloves.
No.
Like, that's the guy we're talking about here. And we saw it on Saturday, the versatility of not just the ability to play third, second, and short, but playing a really, really good short. Some of the diving play, fundamentally sound,
and
is Joey Wendle.
And you know, I don't want to pat myself on the back here, but
go ahead, I'll pat you over there. There we go. Good job. Yeah.
But on Saturday, he had an opportunity to drive in runs, and I just knew he would. I was like, that's a left field double on the line. That's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Kevin was there 10 seconds later. That's exactly what I mean. You can just see that this guy just concentrates in a different way when he has the opportunity to be clutch. Another guy that you have seen do that this season would be Austin Meadows.
Right. Yeah, certainly. And Jesus, you brought up the question of Joey Wendle and Ulises. We were at the game sitting next to a couple of, I guess, strangers that eventually we warm up to like we tend to do during a baseball game. And we were kind of making a joke, like when G-Man Choi came up to bat, it was enjoy the G-Man at bats because he's not going to be a Ray next year.
Right.
And we did that down the line. I think Joey Wendle was brought up, and that's a question. Is he going to be on the team next year? I think I don't know what more else he could do to prove that he is deserving of that second year of arbitration, or would it be third year of arbitration now? I'm losing count, whatever it is. I mean, he's one of the more higher paid, and it's not even super high paid compared to the rest of baseball. But I ask you, Jesus, do you think he'll be back in a Rays uniform next year? Because we do know about the impending the guys like Taylor Walls maybe needing an opportunity, but Al Brujan, Josh Lowe, there's so many guys that are going to be needing a spot. But Joey Wendle's a 4-WAR player right now, and he's an all-star.
Yes,
and for the value, it's very good value as of right now. And he's not, I don't think he's heading to free agency.
After the 2023 season, he will be a free agent.
Okay.
So he's got ARB 2, ARB 3, free agent.
So it'd be an ARB 2 player
for next year.
For this upcoming offseason. What do you think, Jesus?
Well, I think it's tough to tell right now because I have this feeling, right? And I had a feeling about 97. So maybe this feeling it might be accurate, but I have a feeling that if we go all the way and we win the World Series, I think Eric Neander is going to spend money. I think you're going to see, instead of a $60, $55 million a year payroll, it could bump up to 70. And if we're calling it very, very, very bold here, $75 million, right? I have a feeling something can happen, and I think that they might want to run it back, but that's if that happens, right? So, like I said, it's very difficult to say right now. I would love to see him back, but us knowing, right, as Rays fans, how the thing works, like I said, Taylor Walls, or like you guys said, Taylor Walls, Vidal Brujan. There's just too many options that are cheaper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was talking to my buddy, the Yankees fan. I was telling him, we traded, I'm sorry, Mike Zunino. We redid his contract to pay him a little bit less. Like, that's just the way we do it. You know what I'm saying? So honestly, we might just take the Taylor Walls, because the Taylor Walls or the Vidal Brujan experience, just to not have to pay a Joey Wendle, because it's, I don't know.
And Yandy Diaz is making a case to stick around. It's going to be you got to keep at least one or two of those veterans, I would think, which brings me to my next question. I'm not sure if I know the answer from you two on this, but if it came down to it, keeping KK or Joey Wendle for 2022, who would you pick?
Jesus?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
That is so easy. I would definitely pick Joey Wendle.
All right.
I would definitely pick Joey Wendle. The reason why is because there's just something about KK that I don't really like. There's like an attitude thing. I don't know.
You and the rest of us.
Yeah, he's for the team, but I think he has his own merits as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could be a pop-up and he's still going to jump as high as he can and, go Jordan style and try to catch the ball.
Or he'll run over Randy Rosarena to make a play.
Exactly. He'll run a mile and tell Randy to wait. You know what I'm saying? He'll do something. But I think I would prefer Joey because I think Joey might be cheaper, number one. And you know
Yes.
how it is with the Rays. He might
Yeah.
be cheaper. And I think that, we have this guy, Josh Lowe, right? Josh Lowe's
Yeah.
coming up.
Yes.
Doesn't he play center field?
Yeah.
Or he can play center field, right? I think Manny Margot can play center field. So we have a lot of players that can do different things. And I think that it's better to keep a guy like Joey Wendle than to keep a guy like KK. Just as simple as the card gate thing. Just as simple as that. I mean, would Joey Wendle really do, would he do a lot with the card, or would he just give it to the ump? You know what I mean? And I don't know. That's just my opinion. But I think that because it's cheaper and because it might be a little bit beneficial in terms of I see Joey Wendle more as a teacher than KK. I think KK is more about, what he can do, but hey, just watch me do it. I think Joey is willing to, put on his gloves, if you know what I'm saying, because he doesn't wear them.
He's more of a team player, I would say.
Yeah, to help out, Taylor Walls, Vidal Brujan, all these guys. And I think Joey Wendle, in terms of the money and what he might provide in the clubhouse, it might be a little bit better. And honestly, when you think about it, is KK really the face of the franchise anymore? I mean, I barely think about KK. I'm like, oh, KK's in the lineup. I forgot. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, I look at all these rookies. You got Randy. Randy can be the face. Right now the face is Brett Phillips. Baseball is fun.
He can play center too.
So
he's got a damn clothing line right now. He's got a clothing line that people are buying, dude.
He is signing autographs 15, 20 minutes. But he's sort of
every home game. It's amazing. We all love him. Like, how can you not love a Tampa guy just loving playing for Tampa Bay?
Okay, I guess that makes the question moot, unless you have a different take on this, Ulises.
No, I think we should, move on to bigger and better questions.
Okay, sounds good. Before we do that, we got a couple more live reads we got to get through if I can find them up here. Oh, my gosh, I think I might have lost one. Ulises, what do we have?
Well, I don't know about you, but I kind of want to just say something about the KK real quick.
Yeah.
You mentioned the team first mentality. It's not like we're making just pure, fiction here. In that press conference after that Randy Arozarena debacle, he did say, "I'm not here to make blank," and then he stopped himself.
Mm-hmm.
We all know what the next word was. We all know what the next word. We've all, I'm not here to make what? Pasta? I'm not here to make what? Creme brulee?
Data card gate?
No. We all know that the next word was with an F, but I'll leave it like that.
Hey, Ulises, you are a friend. You are a friend because you gave me just enough time to search this live read. It's been a long day, folks. Here we go.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, Bet Online. It is your number one spot for all the pro and college football action this season. With a new updated site and interface, even more odds, props, and contests, betonline.ag continues to be the number one source for everything football. So head over to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today to receive a 100% welcome bonus. That is double your initial deposit just for signing up. Don't forget to use the promo code NFL100, NFL, the numerals 100. Bet Online, it is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all of your favorite sports.
I've got some trivia for you, Jesus. Do you like saving time?
Of course. Who doesn't?
Do you like saving money?
Oh, I'm all about saving money. Ask my wife.
Oh, man. Well, what about if you could do both at the same time? Do you know where you could do that?
I think I do. Isn't that a Rock Auto?
That is right. You got to go to Rock.
Hang on. No, I'm going to give Jesus a little secondary standing ovation. He just hit for the cycle there, folks.
That's the daily listener. Yes, you can save time and money using Rock Auto. Why choose to spend 30%, 50%, or even 100% more for the same parts from a chain store or a car dealership? Jesus knows that doesn't make sense, and you know that too. Rock Auto is a family business serving do-it-yourselfers for over 20 years. Rock Auto prices are reliably low for every customer. They have everything you could ever need. Brake parts, tail lamps, motor oil, and even new carpet. You have to explore their easy-to-use website today to find the solution to your auto part needs. Go to rockauto.com right now and see all the parts available for your car or your truck. Right, Locked On in their How Did You Hear About Us box, so they know that Kevin Weiss, Ulises Sambrano, myself, and Jesus Colon sent you. Why not? Because they've got an amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need. rockauto.com.
Very good. Jesus, moving along here. First off, we know you're a Magic fan, but I need to know about your fandom of some other teams. Well, we know you're a Rays fan too, but who are you rooting for in college basketball, NFL? I don't know if you're an NHL fan or not, but just give us the lowdown and the rundown of your sports fandom here.
Yeah, well, like for me, I'm not really big into college. I just never got into it. I think it's because so many players rotate in and out that I don't really vibe with it. It's just hard to keep up. You really have to be dedicated, just like, all of our dedicated listeners out there to the Locked On Rays podcast, just saying. You have to be dedicated to that. And I can't, I don't know, I just can't vibe with it. But for NHL, I love the Lightning.
Okay.
I used to listen to them on the radio. That's how I became a fan. When I was a kid, I didn't really have TV. So I always had a radio. I remember I asked my mom for a radio for Christmas so that I could listen to the Magic games. And when there was no Magic games, there was a Lightning games. So I used to love hearing I don't know his name because I don't watch it as much. But I used to love hearing the announcer say, that we scored. He'd be like, "Score!" and he'd go
Dave
crazy.
Miskin, yeah.
Yes. So I used to love hearing that. It used to pump me up. And so for NHL, I would say the Lightning. And I follow, not super dedicated, but I follow, once in a while. I'm more of a casual fan when it comes to hockey. Baseball, the Rays, of course. Basketball, the Magic. When it comes to the NFL, I would say that I am a new NFL fan, right? I'm still learning my ways through. I know a few players. I know a little bit about the rules and all this stuff. But I've decided to become a Dolphins fan. The reason why is because I despise bandwagons and I do not want to be one, right? That's the first thing. Number two, I am a Florida guy. I love my Florida teams, but the Bucks just won the World Series. I'm sorry, not the World Series, the Super Bowl. So I'm not really trying to hop on that bandwagon. I've never really liked the Patriots, so the Tom Brady connection isn't for me.
Right.
I just can't. It'd be great because I love the Lightning and I love the Rays, but I'm more of a Dolphins fan because I don't want to be a bandwagon.
You know what? I have such respect for that.
Yeah.
Because the bandwagon thing is so kind of unnerving. But can you be a bandwagon fan if you're trying to get into the sport and you're supporting your home team town? Would you still be called a bandwagon, Kevin?
I think maybe if you jumped on just now after Tom Brady arrives and they win a Super Bowl, it would be a little bandwagon.
So if I become a Bucks fan, even though I really don't care about football, I would be called a bandwagon fan?
In a way.
Damn.
We'll take you on.
I disagree.
Okay.
Yeah?
I disagree. Yeah, because I think it'd be too early to tell. Because here's the thing. There's a lot of new fans that come to teams when they're winning, right? But the question is, what happens when the team is losing? Are you still there? That's when you're considered a bandwagon, in my opinion. There's a lot of Magic fans out there, supposedly, but that's when we had Dwight. That's back when we had Shaq, we had Penny. Now they don't even know who we just picked up in the draft. You know what I'm saying? They're just casual fans. So those are more bandwagon type fans. But, if you take the time to learn your team and you remain consistent in your fanhood, I think that, that pending bandwagon title is removed, from you.
Well, Ulises, you've had 18 years to watch the Buccaneers and you haven't started. Now you're finally I was there for the Schiano years and Raheem Morris.
I remember Martin Gramatica, I remember him.
Okay.
Great kicker, baby.
Very good. That's the extent of it. The kicker. That's what you got from that team?
I'll start, right?
Okay. The A train. How about that?
Sap.
All right, you're getting there.
Thank you very much.
Let me first off, I'm not letting you out off the hook on this one, but giving credit to Jesus for picking the Dolphins because that is absolutely not jumping on any bandwagon whatsoever. True. If anything, the bandwagon probably fell off and broke and the whole truck had to be repaired because
messed up his hip.
Yeah, you're looking at a lot of 7-9, 6-10 garbage with the Dolphins. I mean,
Yes.
So
That's respect.
Yeah, that is respect to ride through it with that. But and also for kind of not being, because most people nowadays it's NFL or bust, but Jesus is into hockey. He's into
I love
NBA. He's into baseball, believe it or not. Look at that. Great stuff from Jesus there. One thing before, I've got a little trivia question for the both of you and see if Jesus can get to it. But Jesus, I'm sure listening on the show and hearing about some of the reports out there regarding the latest with the Montreal split city plan, that during the course of the playoffs, the Rays will put a little banner advertisement down foul territory to, I guess, maximize the exposure and get fans riled up in one way or the other about that. What is your take on all of this?
That's definitely more of like a business type thing, just like you guys were talking about earlier this week. We're recording the day before, but I think it's a business thing. I think it's more them trying to fake it until they don't make it, because I don't think that it's gonna happen. I'm on the Ulises bandwagon here. It's the only bandwagon I'm on. I'm on the this is all for show. This is all to try to get the counties to come to an agreement. Tampa, St. Petersburg, all this stuff. So honestly, I don't see it going anywhere. I mean, it's stupid. It doesn't make it. Who's gonna want to play for the Rays? Like, how are you gonna make money if we're gonna have a trash team because nobody wants to play here? You know what I'm saying? Who's gonna want to play for Montreal and Tampa Bay? That's so weird. It's so awkward. Like, you're not gonna be able to buy a house. You'll never sign a long-term contract. How are you gonna have? I don't know if I would. Like, honestly, I am a very big Rays fan. I love the Rays. I will always support the Rays. But I find it so difficult to support them if they're not in Tampa. It just doesn't feel right. Even if they move to Orlando, it wouldn't feel right. It would feel strange. It would feel awkward. It's like, remember when the Sonics moved to Oklahoma City in terms of NBA? I know Ulises, you're still out here trying to learn your stuff, but they moved from Seattle to Oklahoma City, and it's not the same thing. Like, it's not like, and I can't, like, I love the Rays. I mean, my birthday was a couple days ago. My wife threw me a Rays party. I had a cake that said Cologne on it, 22 and everything, the cake, the whole 9 yards. It was great. It was awesome. It was absolutely wonderful. But like, come on, Montreal / Tampa Bay Rays. I don't want a birthday party like that.
So come 2028, the Rays are playing where, Jesus?
I think they're still going to be on the Trop. I think they're still going to be there. Something's
a redeveloped Trop, because we know that it's not going to be Tropicana. So a redeveloped Trop.
Yes.
In the same Okay, so he's going St. Pete.
Because I see the redeveloping as like a patch, right?
Okay.
As like a temporary fix. Because you'll redevelop, but honestly, I'm here. I live in Orlando. I'm used to the traffic. I mean, Tampa, I'm pretty sure has a ton of traffic, but man, driving over there is really tough. It's a tough drive because of the traffic. It's annoying. You get a headache. We got glasses and stuff. You know how it is, Ulises. But you're out here driving, stop and go. You can't even put cruise control on. You know what I'm saying? And it's tough. It's tough. But when you think about it, I think they're just going to try to patch it for now because they're running out of time. It takes time to build a stadium. You know what I'm saying? That's why they're putting up the little sign in the playoffs. They're trying to make something happen, but it takes time to build, right? I think if we win the World Series and somehow they come into agreement, there's going to be a new mayor coming in, right? You guys were talking about that as well. Maybe things change. Maybe the negotiations get a little bit different. But with all this being said, I think that maybe if all these things go their way, we win the World Series, the Trop is packed right now. Like, fans are actually coming out to the games. If these things continue to happen, I can see a world where there'll be an agreement and there'll be a stadium in Tampa. But honestly, I don't know. I think they're going to try to patch it. They're going to try to extend the deadline a little bit more because it takes time and we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. But honestly, if you start thinking about it, all we hear is rumors. We've been hearing rumors for years. Like, come on, there's nothing concrete. So honestly, we're running out of time.
Yeah, it takes time and effort and energy to build one stadium. Double that, try to build 2 stadiums in the same amount of time frame. Not an easy thing to do. In
uh,
2 different
bureaucracy,
countries.
red
my
tape,
gosh.
politicians involved. Yeah, it's a lot. It's going to be a lot.
It is a lot. So we'll see what happens with that. All right, let's end on, hopefully, a high note with a
Please.
little baseball trivia action. We're going to give Jesus the first shot here. 3 strikes, 3 guesses. Well, if you keep guessing right, you still have those 3 strikes at your disposal. But Ulises, the Rays set a record, another record
Okay.
over the weekend. Do you happen to know what that is? It involves bullpens and a certain statistic that, can
Yes.
get a player or 2 in the Hall of Fame, maybe? Mariano Rivera seemed to have a lot of those.
Yes.
Okay.
Now I know. Yes.
All right, what am I talking about?
You're talking about the fact that the Rays probably have a lot of guys getting at least 1 save or more during the season.
You would be correct. They set a MLB record, as far as I know, with 14 different players. Yeah.
The crowd
I'm hopping
goes
on that
wild.
bandwagon. Okay.
14 different players have saves
Yes.
for the Rays this season. Little hint here. Not all of those players are in a Rays uniform currently. Some are hurt. Some are wearing different uniforms. Some have been relegated to the minor leagues or might not even be playing baseball right now, as far as we know. My question, Jesus, and maybe eventually Ulises, I need all 14 names.
Okay.
I need all 14 names. Go ahead. Jesus, I'll let you start it off.
All right, Diego Castillo.
Yes, he is
Keeping it
actually,
easy.
yeah, the leaderboard. 14, no longer on the team, of course, but correct.
Yes, Diego Castillo. Pete Fairbanks.
Pete Fairbanks is correct.
Because he almost blew it the other day, but he has to be on there.
Yeah, he's got 5.
This guy, what's his name?
We said that a lot this season.
Hand.
Hand?
What's his first name? Isn't it Hand or something like that? His last name?
It begins with an E. I'll help you out. E.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's-
I'm skipping that.
All right, I'm gonna have to give a strike 1 there.
Strike one,
That's a
strike
strike 1.
Go ahead. Okay. Who else?
You've got Castillo and Fairbanks.
Castillo, Fairbanks. Is the music playing? Because I can't hear it.
We will
Let's go
have that.
with,
We'll enter
Chris
it in.
Archer.
Chris Archer is incorrect.
Hey, he played what, like 6 innings? At least 1, right? To save it.
Yeah.
Almost 19.
He got paid $350,000 basically per inning.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. I got 1 more, right? 1 more strike.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, 1 more strike. Let's go with this guy Chavois or whatever, however you say his name.
JT Chagua. Oh
Come on.
my gosh.
Come on, Kev.
He does not have a save with
Oh.
the Rays. Strike 3.
Ulises, I'm on the
Ulises, you
bandwagon. Help
better
me out.
pick up your boy.
Okay.
You got to.
Let's see. I'm going to go with odd ones out first.
Okay.
Josh Fleming.
Fleming is correct. He's got a save.
Okay. Dietrich Enns.
Dietrich Enns has 2 saves.
Nick Anderson.
Nick Anderson has a single save, and now he's on the IL.
Wow. I thought
Yeah, he hit
did
the
it. That's
IL.
why I didn't
Stiff
say his
back.
name.
Stiff back.
Wow.
Allegedly.
JP Fireeisen.
JP Fireeisen is correct. He has 3 saves.
Jeffrey Springs.
Jeffrey Springs on the 60-day IL. He has 2 saves.
I'm praying for you, buddy.
Chris Italian Mob Mazza.
Chris Mazza on the 40-man roster has a save.
Ooh.
You have, with Jesus' help, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I need 6 more names, and I believe you have all your strikes remaining too.
Adam Conley.
Adam Conley does not have a save. Strike 1.
Evan Phillips.
Evan Phillips, that is the name I thought you would never guess in a trillion years. But Evan Phillips, believe it or not, has a freaking save.
Let's go.
Yes.
Let's go.
He got a cheat sheet. I see him. He got a cheat sheet. He got to.
There you go.
This guy's the Rays whiz when it comes to
Evan
this.
Phillips, actually the cousin of Brett Phillips. No, I just made that up.
Okay.
Good to
Mr. The best story in baseball, Lewis Head.
Lewis Head does not.
That was the guy
out
I
of
was talking
save.
about. That was the guy I was talking about. Hand, head, body part.
Oh, okay.
I
That was the
gotcha.
body part.
Strike two.
Head and hand, man.
Wow. Wow, you really took the wind out of my sails with Lewis Head. Man.
You guys are going to be so disappointed.
Oh God.
I'm not giving any more. This
Yeah.
is ridiculous.
What is it? Who is it?
No, you have one more
wait.
strike on you,
One
buddy.
more strike.
Are you
what's the guy from the Orioles? And he was so not okay. Chris with an H. Hess. David Hess.
David Hess is incorrect.
Damn it.
Oh my gosh.
Patino.
Hey- No.
Okay. I'm
Okay.
back, yeah.
No more guesses. No more guesses. I'm kind of disappointed in you both, quite frankly. You guys forgot to mention Andrew Kittredge.
Oh
Wow.
my God.
He has 7 saves. You guys also forgot to mention Colin McHugh.
Oh,
He has a save. Matt Whistler has a save.
oh, this is awful.
Ryan Sheriff has a save.
Ugh.
And the last guy that was not mentioned, Trevor Richards. Silver Fox has a save.
All right, that was a good question. That was a really good trivia
That
question.
was an
Good job.
excellent question. You really got me there, Kevin. You really got me there.
Honestly, I think it was more the Rays that got us there than anything, using Evan Phillips and Trevor Richards and Chris Mazza and Dietrich Enns to get saves. This is what we're dealing with here.
Yeah.
Jesus, it's been a pleasure. Is there anything you would like to promote or mention or add or point out? I think I can speak for Ulises that this has been a bundle of fun.
Yes.
In fact, I hope, Jesus, that next time, I don't know if you're involved in one of our fantasy baseball or football leagues, because the winner of that will also be a guest on the show, because we'll have to have you back on. If you want to say the Rays win the World Series and they win it, and you're right, we might have to have you back on the show.
You know, and before you answer, Jesus, I do want to say exactly that. And also, would you, did you have a good time? Would you say, hey, this is a good time? Would you become a listener? What do you think about the pod and all that?
Yes, I love the podcast. Honestly, you guys have great chemistry. And it's very entertaining. It's never boring. Honestly, it could be the slowest time in the off season. It could be, nothing really going on, but there's always something to talk about. It's always entertaining, and for those out there, if you got friends that are baseball fans, especially if they're Rays fans, I would definitely invite them, send them the link so, they can listen to the podcast wherever they listen to podcasts, or, watch it on YouTube as well. I'm a subscriber, so that's what I would say. And if there's one thing I would promote, is it's the Trop. Believe it or not, I would promote the Trop. I think that it's time for us to go to the games. We've heard all these fans that are going from further out. They're making the drive, and honestly, if you really are a big fan, you're gonna go to the games. And even if you gotta pay $20-$30 for a ticket, many of us, we spend $20-$30 in a week on food for lunch, or coffee, or the kids Happy Meal, stuff like that. So honestly, I would promote the fans going out to the games, going out to the Trop, going out supporting the team. Listen, we spent a year without baseball, like in the stadium.
Yeah,
it's time to go out there. Even if you got to pay a little bit more, it's time to go out there. It's a fun time. I went to my first Rays game ever, finally this year, and Josh Fleming was pitching, so we didn't even score a run. It was bad. You remember that, Ulises? I was there.
Yeah, it was against the Houston Astros, actually. Yeah, it was a clunker.
Yes. I remember. We were trying to figure out how we were going to bring trash cans, but I lost my voice just yelling cheaters. But I would promote that. I think it's time for us to go out to the games. Listen, it's October, baby. October's here. It's time to go. Listen, I think that we can win it. things have to go right. You know, baseball. I mean, look at the Cardinals. They might make it. They might make it to the World Series. Well, if you look at it, when it comes to baseball, it's about getting hot, all this stuff. But hey, you know, I think we have a higher chance to win it than not to. But I can't go all the way and say we're going to win it. I just can't. I don't feel it. There's something that's missing in the team. I don't know if it's Tyler Glass now. It is. But maybe if the Trop is full, we might be able to make it all the way, and we might be able to win it and finally bring a banner and bring that trophy to Tampa Bay. We got to do it. We got to do it for the team. Come on, it's the time. Listen, we don't make the World Series every year.
That's
you
right.
know what I'm saying? If we make it there, you know, like we don't make the playoffs every year. You know, there's teams that never make it to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to take advantage of this time as fans. Listen, I went through the darkest time as a Magic fan right now, and we're just seeing the light. We're seeing these young players, promising players. And like, you don't want to go through that. You know what I'm saying? So we got to appreciate the moment, make it out to the game, bring your kids, bring your mama, bring your girlfriend, bring your ex, you know, bring everybody, go to the game,
right.
you know, and who knows, maybe you can get some $5 beers there as well.
There you go.
Yeah, I might have to go with that last one there. Bring your, yeah, I'm not going to finish that sentence, but he's on the right track there.
Yeah.
And you know what? Rays, your marketing's kind of trash, but I think you have a new hype man. You have a potential hype man in Jesus.
Please,
Front office.
hire me.
You've got a guy right here. Boom, right there. You got a guy right there. There you go. There you go.
Send the email, please. Send the email. I need to be on the promotions team. I promise you. I'm gonna bring some fans, and they might be Puerto Rican, so we'll make a lot of noise.
Instead of putting a billboard about Montreal and the Rays at the Trop, how about you put a billboard saying "Go to the game" in Hillsborough County? But that's another episode.
No, I'm not even kidding. I am not kidding. I am 100% serious about this. The in-game fan host deal, Jesus would be perfect for that.
Yeah, he would be.
Going around with the microphone, talking to the folks here. Hey, check out the $5 Bud and Bud Light at the Budweiser. Like, he would be great at that.
He would be great.
So,
guys,
Brian,
we gotta get excited. We gotta get excited for this.
We gotta get people excited. It's a fun time. It's a fun team. It's a fun place to go to. I don't care if people call it a warehouse. You know what? If it is a warehouse, it's the most loving, most fun, beautiful warehouse you'll ever go to.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we gotta go out to the games. We gotta go out to the games. We gotta support our team. Listen, you there's gonna be a day where you're gonna regret not going to that last game of the season at home.
That's right.
You're gonna regret not going to a playoff game, or you're gonna regret this. Don't regret it. Make the move. We need to support this team. Listen,
that's right.
They need our help. They need our support. They didn't have it last year, and they made it to a game 6. I promise you that if we have a ruckus crowd and we have crazy support, they can go all the way. I think they can, but I can't give you 100% on that.
Brian Auld, Matt Silverman, Stu Sternberg, hire this man.
Yes.
Okay. You talk about wanting to bring. I want to go right now. I'm about to end this episode and just drive to the Trop.
Let's go. Yeah, let's go.
Very good stuff, Jesus. It was a pleasure. We'll have to have you on again, of course.
Definitely. And I can be on every day. You know, you just call me. You know what I'm saying? Just tell Intern McGee to send me a DM. I got you.
Intern McGee. Get over here.
All right.
He's in the crapper right now.
He's getting coffee. Yeah.
That's unfortunate. He might be doing both, actually.
There you go.
All right. Thanks again for making the Locked On Rays podcast your first listen every day, and we will be back tomorrow. In the meantime, check out the Locked On Bets podcast.